Welcome to another episode of Fight the Burnout, helping police departments eliminate burnout in their police officers through mental and mindset tools, because that's where it's all at. Now, burnout is the accumulated stress, both emotionally, mentally, physically, and it's counteracted. You can counteract it by changing those mental mindset tools and the emotional reactions that you have to things. But we got to create a bit of a routine. So today we're going to talk about routine. But before we get into that, make sure you go to createfromwhy.com/LEO. That is createfromwhy.com/LEO to learn all about how we can help your police department eliminate burnout, save you money, save you time, and impact the community at an even greater level than you already do. So routine. What is a routine? Routine is something that you put in place so you actually get shit done. As police officers, most cops actually have really shit routine. They will get up, they'll stir around, and then they'll go to work, and they'll come home, and talk about going to the gym, talk about training. They'll decide not to. They might crack a beer, and they'll sit there and watch some TV, and they'll go to sleep. That's pretty much their routine. On their day off, they wake up, they'll do some housework, maybe take the kids to school. They've got kids. Maybe go to the gym. Maybe go for a train if you're lucky. And then they'll have some lunch. And then they'll hang around, maybe do some more housework, maybe do something that's, kind of fun for them. Maybe do some woodworking, or I don't know, probably sit around, watch TV. Maybe do some chores that their wives nag them about or their partners nag them about. And then they'll have a crack of beer. And then they'll go to bed. This routine is causing burnout. This routine is not healthy. This routine is not ideal for peak performance. We're trying to be pretty much peak performance athlete. As a police officer, you got to be able to chase people instantly. You got to be able to get out of a car really quickly. You got to be able to mentally communicate and coerce, sometimes really sell somebody to do something so you don't get in a fight with them. We've got to actually be able to fight. You got to be able to get in a gunfight. You got to be able to, accurately hit targets at the range, or even when you're in a real gunfight, accurately hit target when they're moving, when they're running around, when your sphincter is going, when the adrenaline's going, when the red haze, when the tunnel vision's hitting. But yet we never actually train for any of it. We never actually put a routine into place. And then we're asked to process the trauma of the job without any time to actually do it. But we never put it into our routine. We never actually have a routine. We never create a schedule so that it happens. You should have a schedule for work even. Yes, it's a more flexible schedule depending on what role you play as a police officer. But if you don't have a routine of some sort to actually calm yourself down after work, to actually prime yourself and get yourself ready for work, to prime yourself and get yourself ready for your days off, you're lining yourself up for failure. You're lining yourself up to not succeed. So what's your routine? For example, no longer law enforcement, but let's talk about when I was law enforcement and I was training for armed offenders, or our version of SWAT in New Zealand. I would get up. This is when I was probably in my best mental state. I would get up. If it was an early shift, I would get up. The night before, I would prep all my food. I'd wake up in the morning. I'd go to work. I'd play some good music in the car on the way to work, get myself hyped up and ready for the day. I'd get changed. I'd put my uniform on. I'd look myself in the mirror and be like, dude, you're a badass. Yes, I would do that. I am vain in that way. Dude, you're a badass. I'd then go to lineup, as we called it, or, briefing. We'd do our stuff. We'd get with who I was with. I would prime my attitude for the day. It's gonna be an exciting day, man. We're gonna have so much fun. Let's go find some criminals. Let's go, do that. We got some intel stuff to do for work. But let's go, park up, do a checkpoint this morning. Let's see who we can find that's been drinking overnight. Let's find some stuff. Let's have some fun. Just priming myself for the day, figuring out what I wanted to do, what I wanted out of the day. From there, We'd set the car up, get everything ready. And while I'm doing this, I'm visualizing myself when we're getting because we don't carry firearms on our hip, but another story for another day. We're putting, getting the firearms ready in the vehicle and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm visualizing myself. If I need to use this, what am I doing? I'm sitting there doing some dry drills just to kind of hone myself in, get myself primed in for the day. I'm then sitting there, putting my duty bag, getting everything ready exactly where I want. So if I need something, I know exactly where it is. It's really fast. Setting the car up exactly how we want, checking the car out, making sure it's all good. Then we go up and we do paperwork. I'd have a routine. We normally do paperwork. If neither one of us had any paperwork to do, then it was like, okay, the routine or the schedule was let's go out on the street. Let's go, just do some drive arounds. Let's look at the schools. Let's make sure that, go do some prevention work. If we had warrants to serve, we had something like that. Mornings are were the best times to do it because a lot of times those guys are still sleeping. So we can go find them. We had a plan. We had a schedule. Now you might have something like this and you don't even realize it. And then after work, get to the end of the day, play some music, and I would drive straight to the gym. Have my gear with me. I'd drive straight to the gym and I would train and I would burn off the energy of the day. Now, remember, I'm training for AOS, our version of SWAT at the time. So I'm going to the gym and I'm training for like 3 hours between weightlifting and then going outside and actually doing some running, doing some endurance, or I'd drive home and go do some endurance. While I'm doing that, I'm focused on where I want to go to. I'm focused on what I want to get. And then once I walk inside, it all gets left behind me. Now, that part I was horrible at. And tell me, are you good at letting stuff stay at work? There's different ways to do that. We'll talk about that on another episode called anchoring. But if you don't have that routine in place and you know what you're doing, for example, now, my routine is I get up, I go to the gym, I go for a train, or I just get up and do some sort of movement. Whether it just be making an action or it's going to the gym. Depending on what's going on in my life, depends on what I'm doing. Then I prime myself for the day by taking action and eating some food, fueling myself. I fuel myself, prime myself for the day. I then go in and I look at what I need to do for the day. The night before, I've already looked at what I have coming up the next day, but I remind myself what's going on in the day. I look at my schedule. What meetings do I have? What interviews do I have? What trainings do I have for people? What am I doing that day? I have it all on my schedule. And before I do, and I go into any meeting or even recording this podcast, I prime myself. I hype myself up. I make movements. I give myself good language, good focus, the outcome that I want. What outcome do we want from this? Makes a huge difference. We apply that to the street when you're on your way to a job. What outcome do you want from the job? Do you want to go in and you want to lock somebody up? Well, guess what? If you want to go in and lock somebody up, you're going to make that happen. You'll entice the person. You'll egg the person on. You'll do whatever you need to do to get an arrest. Versus if you're there to impact or to resolve the situation without conflict, you'll find a way to resolve the issue without conflict. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen every single time, but you're more likely to have it happen. What routine do you use constantly to keep yourself primed? Key one is when you go to leave work. How do you leave work? Do you leave work thinking about everything from the day, or do you think about the stuff from the day, acknowledge it, release it, and take action as you walk out the door, consciously leaving it at the station? Because they're two totally different things. What is your routine? Think about your routine, write it down, figure it out. Because this is real important for your officers as well. If you are a command sergeant, a lieutenant, what are you expecting from your officers that you lead? What routine are you expecting from them? Just to come in and give it everything that they have? Well, guess what? Everybody doesn't have that much energy every single day. This is Fight the Burnout, where we help and we give you tips and tricks and tools, interview people to give you ideas on how not to burn out. We run a program that's called Rise, helping officers and departments eliminate burnout so that you can impact, you enjoy the job for your entire career, 20 plus years. You fight burnout, find purpose, enjoy the job like the first day. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that alert bell so you get notified when an episode drops. If you are interested in being a guest, please reach out to us at createfromwhy@gmail.com. If you want to know more information around our RISE program, visit createfromwhy.com/LEO. Remember, train hard, test easy, stay safe out there. Till next time, we love you all.